day, friends. It's windy today, so let's really test out that muff I got on my mic. Snow is all melted, so we can do a good walkabout now, and as I like to do, show you the mess that is when the snow just first melts in the spring. You see, because it wasn't here last year, there's a whole lot of weeds in here, but it's not actually that bad. Flowers are starting to grow. Daylilies. Oh, so these wisteria, they come out with the flowers first. The flowers are edible, so I've got to remember that, and when they fully open up, pick a bunch of flowers and use them the way that they are recommended to be used. I spent the last couple of days fabricating something up for the garden, so I could have been out gardening yesterday, but I had something in my mind. I said, I make this first part and it will make these weeding and setting so much easier. So that's what I was doing, and I'll show you that in the next video. Down here by the fence, I never done anything worth talking about for years, like last 2 and 3 years. What are they? Columbine. That's what that is. Coming up there. But there's a lot of stuff here. There's a green lemon thyme, I think it is, growing here. So there's stuff to uncover when I get down there. I did take all the stuff. There was some garbage all along here, and I took that up. So there's not that much to clean up in the driveway here. This bed was only done last year. I did so far along here because I planted tomatoes halfway, but then the rest of it there's grass, and it's just grass growing up in there and all kinds of other weeds. This is not too bad, actually. Look at the number of flowers that's growing there. Isn't that nice, eh? So that'll only be a little flick to actually get that cleaned up. Snowball bushes starting to leave out. The leaves are coming well along on the yep, got that one forgot again now. Terrible with names. This end, I had mulch, you see, so there's even less weeds up this end. Here's the rose bushes are coming out, leaves. I think these are called, wait, no, that one, not that one. I don't remember. Can anybody tell me what these flowers are? There's that one, and then there's this version here. Oh, and look at these over here. They're just way open. They're a little bit lighter blue than those last ones I showed you. There's a lot of tulips along here, so the leaves are all growing up. take this out of the way and give you a shot straight down. So that's another one. So there's 3 different kinds of flowers growing here. And when I get around to cleaning this area up, I will probably take up the bulbs and then arrange the flowers in a more appropriate way. Got the name, forgot. Oh well, is what it is. These now, the grapevines, they won't be another full month at least before they leave out. Don't see anything new growing here. Oh, wait a minute, yes. So that's the love each down by the fence, right there. Takes some serious cleaning for this one. Romeo cherry coming along. That's the buds are enlarging on this. This is the smoke bush, that bronze colored one, and this is Juliet cherry. Buds are just starting on the pear trees. And well along the way for the maple tree. So this is that cherry plum, my O'Brien cherry plum. The leaves are coming out well on that one, and then we got a second one right here. Now that one I just showed you, that had some fruit on it last year, but I never got the fruit. I don't know if it just fell off or if a bird come and ate it or what. That moose done some serious damage. And look at this. That's the white currants. It just mowed the top right off of it. Now, I'm not sure about this because if we look at that, but down here, it's doing just fine. And this branch down here, but it looks like, no, it's still soft, but there's no leaves high up on this one. Of course, the currants, that's the red currant, that's the one that's coming along. This is the other plum tree. No, cherry tree. So that's the cherry trees that grew up from pits that I spit out. Remember in that other video, this bush was all flattened down with the snow, and now it's just stood up on its own. Once the snow got melted and it dried a bit. These are black currants. This is one of the seaberry that's leaning over like crazy because of the snow. Nice thing about this mic though, even if you do get wind noise, it's right close to my mouth, so it doesn't drown out my voice. But that's another black currant. And this is the gooseberries, of course. One, two. That's the only big seed berry I got. These broke down, you see. I had seed berry growing here. And the one that I planted over there broke down as well. So, look at where these are. So there's only the occasional raspberry cane sticking up. So I don't know what's going to become of raspberries this year. See, I don't know how well I'm going to do, but you see, I did 1 year put 2 beds in here, and I never did 1 year, 2 years, I believe I used them, and then I couldn't tend to it anymore. And this was like this because I had a row of compost bins here. Rhubarb coming along. I have 2 different types of rhubarb, but you'll see now in just a bit. But last year, this grew terribly, but it seems to be coming back this year quite well. Here's the garlic. Every one of them are coming up. Now, something I want to show you. I waited till I got up here because they're all over the garden. But you see these? That's maple seedlings. That's the cotyledons that come out of the seed for the maple. And there's hundreds of them popping up all over the yard. I'm going to take them up, at least 50 of them, and put them in solo cups, and then of course pot them up a little later. But this, overall, considering I wasn't there last year, it's not too bad. I was expecting the weeds to be way worse than this, but it's mostly dandelions, and that'll be easy to weed out. I have turnip here that I didn't get last year, and I've decided, this is a purple top white clove. I've decided that I'm going to let that grow and go to seed this year. So I had some fresh seed. The cabbage, there was a whole bunch of little cabbages, and they were starting to grow back. I have harvested some this spring already. You see this one I cut this morning. And I chopped them up and put them in my potato pancakes. That's really good. And the other plant I have grown, and I didn't know they were growing here, but they did. So that's mullein. And apparently, what I had planted there last year was Roman chamomile. That's Roman chamomile. You see how it grows as a ground cover? It's growing all over here like a ground cover rather than the German chamomile, which grows up just a single flower stalk, like 60 centimeters, 2 feet tall. I'm not sure what this plant is. I'll have to find out what I had planted there last year. Over here, of course, uh, because this was a bed that was just used 1 or 2 years, and this one was very little done with. That one up there, I had laid cardboard down and a bunch of compost on top. I'm not sure which one will be easier to weed out, but I'm not going to bother because I'm going to put beds out this way, and I'll have another row. So there's 6 here, right? But I'll have them 3 rows deep. Like I say, it's not really. I was expecting it to be much more plants around than this. Blueberry bushes that are there, they're not going to leave out until the same time grapes do. Now, the rhubarb that I put here, that's coming back really beautifully. As I was saying earlier, you see, that's rhubarb, that's rhubarb. Obviously, 2 different varieties, both with thick stems, and then out and about, I've got that thin stem one. What plant is this? Is this a sorrel of some sort? I've got to check out what this is because I don't think I planted it there. Same as the golden raspberries, the red raspberries are all flattened down like crazy, so it might be a thing of everything mowed down this year and I just won't have any raspberries this year. The roots will still be there and they'll grow up. I'll try to leave as many as I can, but it's looking like I won't get very many raspberries this year. Robins come back, and the snow, the ground was still covered in snow. I said, poor robins. They showed up a couple of days too early, but it was almost a week when they were airing snow all over the ground. They had to find the little patches where there was no snow. And I was up here 2 days ago, and I had to walk over snow to go in here. Now, I planted a bunch of trees along here. So this one here doesn't seem to have been touched. It's very close to this metal post I put there. This is a northern hackberry. Ooh. But there's a few out around, and the ones that were not really tight too close to the post like that, they had gotten chewed on, but that one didn't. So we'll see what happens. I'm going to go over this way first because I'm just going to tell you about this. I brought up a bunch of thornless honey locusts. You can see there's a metal rod here. And here's the stick cut off right down like that. And I went around, and let's find out where I put another one. I thought I had a marker in by every one of them. some of them were cut right off at the ground level, not even up as much as that one that I just showed you. Looks like the moose hit. Here's one. So there he is, right there by my middle finger, right there. So I mean, look at how far it was cut down. It wasn't a moose. Theoretically, it could have been a rabbit. And I think it was 10 that I put here. I just laid them out in their containers, and then I went back around and planted them. And I missed one. Not touched. So that tells me that those that were eaten, it was voles, meadow voles. Ate those. This is our low bush blueberry starting to leave out there. Doing fairly well, so I think this year we'll get quite a bit done, because I was working on finishing my fabricating thing there this morning, and so okay, I'll go to lay down and take a break now, and I was laying down there half an hour, and I'm like, nah, I gotta get back up into this. So that was nice. I think this one, he's been laying there for quite some time, so the sap is pretty much gone out of this aspen now. And I think I told you before, but I don't remember. I know how to make use of aspen now. I've been thinking about it over the winter and trying to figure it out. Go online and researching, what can I do with aspen? And I found it. So I've got that fair size one there. I thought he was actually a little bigger than that. But he's not as big as I thought he was. But that's okay. But now, you see, it's all dried out. There'll be a bit of water in there, but for the most part, this is pretty dry now. So I cut this out, and it'll be no time, and it'll be just light as could be. We got some small trees blew down. That's a new blowdown, and it's still got green leaves on the top. Well, I don't know what happened, because you see, this here little one here, it fell that way, and then this one fell that way, so they kind of split the way the trees was. Now, is this a new blowdown, that aspen? Because you see how the one branch is split there? No, I think I had to cut down. It goes all the way up there. This blew down. You can see the roots sticking out of the ground there. We'll go back in around this way. This is the last bit of the snow that's on the, what I call the first flat, because you got 3 levels, right? The house flat, first flat, and the second flat. And then it tapers down to the bog from there. So I got things to pick up here already cut up. I'll be coming and doing that soon. Of course, got to get the garden planted, so I'll probably wait until the gardens are planted before I come up and start firewood again. Oh. You see, there's one leaning in there, and there's a couple of birch right there. There's that one there. There's some already laying down. But this is the new trail that I'm coming in with the quad now, and the rest of that over there. I won't be driving on with the quad over there for a long time to come. This aspen snapped right off during the winter. Some of these now, like this here, I cut that down when I was making the pathway to come in for the quad. And we just go around this way.
Can I get this to show up on the camera? I think I can. You can see how those ridges are there, eh? This used to be a potato field. All the way back here. This entire area over around here, this was all potatoes used to be planted there back. I think it was before I was born, actually. So, it's a long time ago. Right there, you can see a bigger bed. So that was probably planted out with like beets and rutabaga or something like that. But where I'm standing now was potatoes, because you can see it's just little short ridges. And back then, that's what they would do. They just make single rows of potatoes in a trench and then heal them up. And that's what you end up with. But, yeah. And right here, you probably can't see that on camera, but I can see it's just standing here where there was a wider bed right here. Of course, in there is our apple tree from behind the cellar. I'm starting to get a little excited because I feel like I'm going to be able to get out and do things again this year. To tell you the truth, it's probably not worth selling that anyway. I would like to turn it into a little mini cabin. There is a toilet in that actually, so I could set it up. All the propane stuff in it was working. Technically speaking, the fridge can run on either propane or electricity. So I could actually, now I don't remember whether it's 120. The fridge might be able to run on 12 volt, in which case I could set this up as a off-grid little mini cabin thing, which is what I would like to do. Now, of course, where we're going in here is where the black locusts are. The aspen, they're growing up everywhere, of course. They grow like grass. We got one bite on here, but not much damage done to it. These are later leaving out, so that's why there's nothing growing yet. One of the later trees to leave out. So that one was okay. This one got its ends chipped off. Of course, there's the moose buttons right beside it. And apparently the moose did walk over here. So you got moose buttons there. And the tips on the black locusts were bitten. More moose droppings. So now a couple of days ago, this was snow and I didn't even bother to walk up over it. But now we've got a little bit. So this is my first time now walking up here. Got a little bit of snow there. That'll be gone tomorrow. But I planted a bunch of buddies up here. Looks like this one wasn't touched. What was it I planted here? Oh, this is black locust. Now some of them were cut down. And when I took up the flowers, the daylilies from down in the original patch, I had like a couple hundred bulbs, and I couldn't find anybody who wanted them, so I brought them up here and I planted them out, and they're growing up. 1, 2, 3. I can see a fourth one over there. But anyway, you can see that vole digging under the snow all winter. And a lot of the black locusts that I planted here, they chewed those off. So whether or not they grow from the roots or not, I don't know. I'm going to have to grow trees out bigger than what I have been planting them, say 3 or 4 years at least, before bringing them up and just sticking them out here. And even then, I'll have to put a little bit of protection around them from the moose. Because once they get going so far, especially something like black locust, then if the moose cuts the top, it can grow from the roots. But when it's really tiny, that is a mulberry, I think. They got chewed back. Of course, this is your regular cherry tree, right? This is what moose do. That's typical of moose. But it is leaving out, so it's going to grow like mad again this year. Now there's the other ones, hedge apple, Osage orange. They won't be leaved out yet. But they were spending some lot of time on the property, weren't they, moose? Go for a walk over here and see what damage the moose done over here. Like I said a couple of days ago, this was still all covered in snow, so I didn't come over this way. I don't think he done much damage to that, actually. It's just that that one seems to be struggling now. This one's got some damage done to him. He's all chipped off on the top. See, you got snow here. Soil's not that good here, really. It's just sandy soil, right? So, yeah, I'm just planting stuff out, and if it grows, grows. If it don't. It's not like tree seeds cost a whole lot. So yeah, that's what this area looks like first thing in the spring. This pile here is actually quite old. If I take those branches off the top, there should be a lot of really decomposed wood underneath that pile. So that's a little garden walkabout to show what it's like first thing in the spring when the snow just melted. And as I'm going to keep repeating, if you can help it, don't eat poison food. And I'll catch you in the next video. Thank you for watching.